The first thing that I would suggest, and I see a lot of people that, at least to me, look very young out here, and so I'm going to think that some folks in here are just getting into family law. I see some of my old friends who've been doing it for a few more years, but it's a basic course, and I'm going to try to start with the basics. A property case is about a spreadsheet. That is where you need to start. You need to learn how to use Excel, at least in a rudimentary way, or hire someone that knows how to use Excel, because that's really the way that these cases are handled. You start filling out the Excel spreadsheet, you put the assets and the liabilities on there, and that can be an inventory and appraisement. We routinely exchange inventories and appraisements in cases, and I'm going to talk about general cases, not just VLS cases, cases that may have some elements of property in them. When I am asked to agree to exchange an inventory with the other side, I don't hesitate to agree to do that. But I also will make sure that no one is expecting me to provide an inventory in the form provided by the Texas Family Law Practice Manual, which has got a bunch of information that I don't think anybody needs in it. And again, back to my original point of it's all about the spreadsheet anyway. You need to see it in that spreadsheet format to make some sense about it. Those of you that know me know that in addition to being a litigator and representing my own clients in family law litigation, I do a lot of family law mediations as the mediator, and so I'll get these packages. I had a mediation yesterday, and at 4:15 on Wednesday, I got an email from one of the lawyers that was 54 pages long. The email told me that they were going to get me something more comprehensive as soon as it was prepared. Charlie might be familiar with those folks and how they do things. And they did. 6:15, there was an 84-page attachment to an email that came in. Well, I read the letter that told me what the case was about. It was 4 pages long. And I looked for the spreadsheet. And there wasn't a spreadsheet, there was a decree. And so looking at the description of this property to this person and that property to another one didn't give me a clue. And if it's in the inventory form that you get in the practice manual, it's impossible to figure out either. You've got to boil it down to a spreadsheet. The practice manual, in defense of the practice manual, I mean, a lot of the details that go into that are useful in describing property in the decree, and it's good to have that, but it's not useful in figuring out what the hell the case is about and how to get it resolved. So, if anybody wants a little simple form to fill in the blank that's got real estate, bank accounts, brokerage accounts, space to fill in there, and columns for husband and wife in it, let me know, and I'll make sure that someone knows that knows where it is on the system, can send y'all a basic Excel form that you start filling in the blanks for, that's the way every case is done. And you want that so that you can do your inventory, and you want that so that you can negotiate with the other side, and you want that so that you can send that to the mediator, because I tell you, you send that to me in advance of a mediation, I spend 3 minutes and I know what your case is about and what's going to be hard as hell to get resolved. It's just jumps right off of the page at you, and when you have to go to the courthouse and try your case, there it is for the court. When I go to try a case, I have that spreadsheet in the form of with a husband and wife column on the right hand side, and I've got the stuff that I want in each column at the value that I want it at the division that I want to propose for the court to do. I also bring it to the court in a soft form, either on thumb drive or on a DVD, or I offer to email it to the court, however the court wants it. I'll also have one in a hard copy that does not have the husband and wife columns filled out. The judge can fill it out. On soft copy, they can put in the values they want and who they want to have what. Another thing that I've done in more complicated cases, and I mean ones where I'm fighting cats and dogs with the other side about everything we can think of to fight about. However, these people are typically my friends, and so we sit down and we say, look, we know what we don't agree on, okay? So let's do a joint spreadsheet for the court so the judge can see on highlighted lines the things that are in dispute. Because what's the value of the brokerage account? Well, on September the 30th of 2010, there's not a dispute about what's in there. We've got a statement. But, you know, if we are fighting about a house, we may have two opinions about what it's worth. There they are. Now the court knows I've got to decide what the house is worth. We may have a business and two opinions about what the business is worth. There's no dispute. One of the parties is going to get the business. Is how much are they going to have to pay for that? And so you know, we've got I had a 6-day trial earlier this year. It was probably about a 3-page spreadsheet inventory printed in landscape form. There was a lot of stuff to fight about, but there were about 6 or 8 highlighted lines. And so the court knew in 3 minutes, before we ever said a word, because they got this before they talked to us, what am I going to have to decide this week or early next week? And so that's very important to do. It's used throughout the case, and it's in my opinion, the only way to operate.